Welcome, everybody. This is Dimitri Young and Robert Fick on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network, FYI Sports Talk. How are you people doing out there? Because we're doing fine. Robert, tell these people what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, D, we got a great show for you guys today. Two great guests, former teammate of ours and what would you call Psycho? He's the Dodgers play-by-play.
Yeah, he's the play-by-play.
When Vince Scully's not doing it.
Yeah, Vince Scully doesn't go on the road anymore, so.
We get to hear Steve Psycho Lyons, Patrick O'Neill, but them two guys will be joining us today. We're going to talk playoff baseball. Last night, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, your brother.
Yes. Got robbed of a hit for those who watched the game. What else do you have? You have a lot on your piece of paper. I don't have much on mine.
Well, you know, we're going to talk football, one of my favorites.
I was dumb this week. I lost my fantasy football.
I have two teams. I went 1-1. Last night was not a good game, but was a good game if you were a Saints fan, watching Drew Brees do his thing, Darren Sproles, Jimmy Graham.
Definitely wanted to get into that because we was talking in the car about the difference between the Saints this year versus last year. But what else do you have? Because I have Royce Clayton and Psycho Lyons, but I do have 2013 year in review for MLB. And, you know, just some surprises and things like that that came to my attention as something that was out of the ordinary in MLB.
Okay, well, a question I wrote down that I have for you today is...
For me?
For you is... What was your most memorable moment or thing that happened in Major League Baseball? Was it a no-hitter? Was it a certain record?
You mean playing or watching or...
Just as a fan.
You know what, as a fan?
Like, I'll give you my answer. The most memorable thing was the Dodgers run. I mean, it was...
Are you just talking about for 2013?
Yeah, just this year. The Dodgers, what they did, being in last place, spending all that money, rock bottom. Mattingly was hours away from being fired. Just the whole turnaround, Puig and
well, you know, that is a good one, but I think the one for me, and I mentioned it on our show on our previous network, it was Chris Davis. To me, that was the biggest surprise, seeing a guy come. I mean, he's 30 home run guy, but nobody special, low average. This guy emerged as a superstar this year and helped the Baltimore Orioles get within a taste of the playoff race. I mean, they were in it to the last series of the year.
Yeah, for somebody that's Davis has always been known as a streaky player. He really. He kept it going the whole year. I'm sure he had a few little slumps, but nothing too bad.
He was close to 200 strikeouts, 199 to be exact. He had a high 280s batting average, but he had 50 homers and he had 40-plus doubles. I mean...
And hitting the middle of that lineup in the American League East.
Yeah, tough division. I mean, Baltimore, yeah, it's an easy part to hit out, but you still got to hit the ball. You got to hit the ball.
I'll tell you, Buck Showalter, one of the best in the game. He
By far. You know, he
nobody wants to play Baltimore. Them boys come to play every night.
Well, I knew that when they hired Buck Showalter, when he left his gig at ESPN and took that gig. I talked to Adam Jones after that season, and he was talking about the turnaround, how his presence alone made you want to play better. And Buck Showalter learned over the years how to cater more to the players, but still get his message across where, hey, we're here to play ball. We're here to win. You know, there are no excuses why we don't win. You go out there, you play. But he also understands that today's players, sometimes they need to be pampered. Sometimes they, you know.
You got to massage them a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, that happens. That's, you know, for you young kids that are listening, that's going to be you guys one day. You're going to have to be pampered, and we understand that to get the best out of you, sometimes it's not a foot in the behind, it's a pat on the back.
True. Yeah, he is. He's quite a manager. Everything he touches seems to turn to gold, whether it's Arizona, Texas, the Yankees, everywhere he's been, it
I
seems
know.
like.
If he could have lasted one
following
one
year,
long,
yeah.
Shouldn't they give him a ring just
So,
for setting the tables?
Look for the Orioles to fire him this year.
And they win the World Series.
Yep, they're looking to get a World Series. But, yeah, we're going to talk football, talk baseball, Dodgers, Matt Kemp out for the playoffs. Some of you Dodger fans may think no big deal. You know, we did it without him the whole year, but I think a little different. The guy was swinging the bat pretty good. He is Matt Kemp. Whether you like him or not, he's a force to be reckoned with in the middle of that lineup. And the obvious team leader, I mean, it's Matt Kemp's team.
Well, it's definitely Matt Kemp's team, but as we see in baseball, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of deal. I mean, if you look at that situation that it's Matt Kemp's team still, it's almost, if you look at the situation that Hanley Ramirez was in when he was in Miami, that was his team until they said, hey, we're going to move you to third base. We're going to put Jose Reyes here. That's like they took the stripes from him, and he had a legitimate problem with that. So when you have a problem with that, you're not going to play at your very best. So they trade him to the Dodgers, and now you're getting the very best out of Hanley Ramirez. We both played against him when we were with the Nationals, and between him and Miguel Cabrera, when they were both on the Marlins, that was just an absolute scary show, and I was glad I played first base because they hit the ball up and over to the left field. They didn't hit any rockets to me.
Yeah, Hanley Ramirez, special talent. I mean, he's a 330 hitter, you know. I don't know what his numbers are this year. He's in the 340s, but you know, it's no surprise he's been doing it his whole career, and you know, like you said, you get moved from your position, you get your stripes taken away. It can do something to the mind, and he obviously wasn't playing to the best of his ability, and to his defense, I don't know if the Marlins know exactly what they're doing over there, anyways, and not so much the front office people.
Just fire,
it's the owner, man. He's just sticking his hands in everything, and it's a shame, you know, what he's done. They've had some good people over there: Freddie Gonzalez, Ozzie Guillen.
Don't forget Joe Girardi.
Joe Girardi, of course, he was the first one. So
he got manager of the year and got fired.
Exactly, and you see what Freddie Gonzalez is doing in Atlanta.
He got fired, and now he's in the playoffs.
So you know, the Marlins.
They're good at developing players.
They may want to take a look in the mirror over there, but yeah, they're gonna trade. They're gonna trade Giancarlo.
You get more prospects, and then in 2 years, when Christian Yelich is up for arbitration,
he gone.
Maybe he'll be a Dodger.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
No, he'll be an Angel.
Christian Yelich. You got a Christian Yelich report? Has he been at the gym? No Woody yet?
No Woody yet. I think he's still enjoying it.
Oh, yeah, what am I thinking?
Yeah, man. Hey, school is out.
Yeah, but you think he might make a pit stop like, yeah, look at me.
What?
Yeah, made it
that
to
boy ain't home yet. He's in South Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, South Beach.
Or Vegas.
Nah, he's in South Beach. He said he was going to stay there for about a week or so. I offered up my house there, but Fort Lauderdale's a little too far from South Beach.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the clubs don't start hopping until 1 in the morning out there. And when you're 21 years old and when you see 6-foot models that talk like these, hey, and they know who you are.
You're only human.
Hey, and he's single.
Yeah, you're only human.
Yeah, and hey, does he have a game to go to? No, season's over. It's like the last day of school, and then the first day of summer, you wake up like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have anywhere to go. All right. That's how the first day of the off season is for those who aren't in the playoffs.
And then 2 weeks later, you don't know what to do with yourself, ready to get back into the gym.
Yeah, but
maybe not us, but
shoot,
that's how other guys felt.
Well, for me, the first month, I had all those injuries and stuff. Getting over playing a full season. It's like I don't have to do anything, and back then I loved to eat. So speaking of eating.
Oh, yeah.
During the What the Fix segment, welcome back Twinkies.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
One of those are mine, right?
Hey, you went to the store this morning. You could have picked up a Hostess.
Whoa, I didn't think
Twinkie.
to see that.
Look at that. Look. Look,
Twinkie like that. That thing's fresh. It looks
man, look at
fresh.
it. Glistening. Look at it. Some people say it doesn't
Yeah.
taste the same. Some people say it doesn't taste the same, but you know what? They're not regular Twinkie eaters.
Looks really good. Look
You
at
see that?
Look at Angelo. Angelo, like, fuck, looks like a dick. He's like, fuck,
He's like,
man, I
man,
want that
there's
thing.
only 2 of them.
Oh, shit. Yep.
Yeah, there's only
One
2.
for me, one for Dimitri.
Yeah, during the What the Fix segment. Thank you, hostess, for coming to your senses and overcharging for these things, because before y'all went out of business, these were like 75 cents. Now these things are, $1.70. In some places, $2. Yeah. So definitely go and get the box of 10 at one of your grocery stores for $4.
Where did you get that? The grocery store?
I got that at 7-Eleven.
Oh, 7-Eleven? All right.
Yeah, man.
They
they
could
get
sing in singles you get them at the store, right? You get the
you
pack.
you get the 2-pack or you get the box of 10.
Box of 10, right. Okay.
I'm waiting for the Suzy Q's to come back. Those were good.
They still have the, they still have the ding dongs.
I hadn't seen the Ding Dong, the Ho Ho's, the Suzy Q's. But when the Suzy Q's come back, you know what? I need to buy stock in Hostess, man. Because that's like Tesla stock, man. That's some stuff you can get rich on right there.
So last night, Nelson Cruz is back for
Yes.
the 50-game suspension. Came right in,
Yeah, he
jinxed him right up. Bad karma.
I wouldn't call it bad karma, because you know he
Cheater.
he did what he had to do, which he knew wasn't right, but he served his time, he served his suspension, and the team and the organization welcomed him back. The pressure was really on him to be able to come back and perform at a high level for game 163, and as we all see, hey, see ball, hit ball ain't as easy as just going out there. It looks easy, like, oh man, how did he not hit that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, hitting is more mental than just batting ball, and it was pretty evident last night.
It's the beauty of it. It's the beauty
And
of
then
it.
what about tonight's game? You have the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, not Monday Night Football.
Cueto against Liriano, is that who it is?
Yes. You got
Who
two.
you got? I know who you got. I know who you got.
You know.
Wow, you're gonna go against him, huh?
Yeah, I see the Pirates.
Wow.
Yeah, the Pirates.
They got
Pirates giving the Reds fits, and what they gonna do? I mean, they're gonna pitch around Joey Votto. I bet you they bust Phillips in with that nasty golf ball, baseball size, that thing on his shin.
Liriano, man, he's right behind Clayton Kershaw, probably as one of the best lefties in the game.
Ice veins, man, ice veins.
And he's gonna be. It's a tough draw for Votto and Bruce. I know that.
Yeah,
It's gonna be. I like Pittsburgh too, man. I like
Sin
the
Soo
moves
Choo.
they've made. Marlon Byrd, Justin Morneau. They brought in some quality dudes. That Marlon Byrd is really playing some good baseball. So
and one of my favorite teammates, the closer for the Pirates, Jason Grilly. That guy, he's a blue collar player who is in a blue collar city. He fits right in, and that guy, I watched him get sent down when he deserved to be on the Tigers team back when I was a Tiger, and I never seen somebody so dedicated in their team as this guy. You know, this guy is so team oriented, where, hey, I'll do whatever. He did whatever to be on that Tigers team, and he helped them out in the World Series. And then what he's doing now, he finally got an opportunity with the Pittsburgh Pirates, made the All-Star team. And he comes from a great family. His dad, Steve Grilly, pitched for years with the Tigers and other organizations. And I got to see him a couple of years ago in Cooperstown. And it's a great family, and, you know, I wish the best for him. And because of that, you know, I'm pulling for the Pirates in this one-game playoff.
yeah, me too. I'd like to see the city of Pittsburgh, Clint Hurdle, things he deals with on and off the field. I believe they still have the same GM, Neil Huntington, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
I know when I was playing, that guy was taking some abuse. He's had some rough years there in Pittsburgh.
He took enough abuse now. Now he's reaping the benefits.
And not many guys get to keep their job like this guy got to keep his job. And
You mean like Dale Schwein in the Cubs?
yeah, man, whoa,
You know,
blindsided by that one.
it looks like the Cubs are going in another direction because actually we're going in another direction because when we get back on that show, yes. When we get back,
We are going in another direction.
when we get back, we have Royce Clayton and Steve Psycho Lyons calling in to give us their perspective on the playoffs.
17-year Major League Baseball
Yes.
veteran shortstop, one of the best teammates you could possibly have.
He definitely lets you know how to play the game and how to be a big leaguer on and off the field, and it'll be nice to catch up and to hear how Mr. Clayton's doing.
You saw him on TV, or you said you saw him on
commercial,
TV.
Ford commercial.
He's pretty. He's an actor.
All right, we'll be back on it in a few minutes.
Royce Clayton coming right
FYI
up.
Sports Talk on John Lovitz Vodcast Network.
Upcoming shows to the John Lovitz Vodcast Network.
Welcome to FYI. It's Dimitri Young here with Robert Fick.
Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Marijuana.
Hi everybody, Crabman's Rock and Roll Revival featuring Frazier Smith is on the air, in your hair, and going out everywhere around the world.
I'm Gary Garver, live from the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
This is the John Lovitz Podcast Network.
Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com.
Welcome back to FYI. This is Dimitri Young alongside Robert Fick. And guess who we have calling in right now? None other than 17-year vet, man with the amazing glove at shortstop, good looks,
Actor.
baseball player, father, Ford commercial doing, Royce Clayton. Royce Clayton, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. It's weird to hear you call me Royce Clayton. Young buck. Young buck. Still got respect, though.
Hey,
That's good.
Hey, that's how it's supposed
Thanks
to
for
be,
having me
man. Hey, thank you for being on with both myself and Robert Fick. Before we start talking about anything baseball related, hey, you look good in that Ford commercial. That's why you driving that nice truck coming to the camps. I like that commercial.
You know, I think you look good by the surroundings that they put around you. So I got a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, helps me look better as I get older. So I think that's the trick. That's the beauty of TV. But I appreciate it. It was fun to do that commercial with the kids and the family. And, you know, I think it's real cool when my kids get to go to school and everybody's like, man, we saw you on TV watching, you know, Monday Night Football or whatever. But, you know, something that we did during the summer, had a good time. And we love the Ford product. So it was good for the family.
Man, well, I want me a Ford.
I haven't seen it yet, so
I know all of us. We can all claim that we're the ugliest in our family, and I'm more than willing to take that title because, you know, I look at my kids as beautiful people, you know, and it's a miracle from God that I was able to procreate and put some beautiful people on the planet. So I don't mind being the ugliest one. Hey, we already know Robert's the ugliest one. We don't even have to say. You might as well put that hat over your head.
yeah, I asked them if I could wear a mask for the show, but they said no. So, yeah, but Rodman's.
That's why you guys are doing so well on radio. You got beautiful radio faces.
Hey, this is a vodcast, so you get to see our faces.
Hey,
Oh, okay. Well, my bad.
Dennis Rodman's got nothing on me. He is a mullion.
Hey Royce, I know you're paying attention to the baseball playoffs and things like that. My choice, I want to see the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers get to the World Series with the Dodgers winning in 6. And Robert has his own prediction as well. Do you have any forecast on what the future holds with the playoffs?
I have Boston. I have Boston in it. Now, I think LA has a real good chance because they're pitching and what they can do in a shortened series to obviously getting deep into the playoffs. And, at first I was like, how are they going to score runs? Is their lack of fundamental baseball going to affect them? But with that pitching, it's hard to go against what LA can do, especially in the National League. St. Louis is always going to post a good run. But, again, when you look at the pitching staff and the tail end of the bullpen, what LA's been able to put together, I think that they have a real good shot of going to the World Series. But LA, Boston, I'm kind of in agreement. But I have Boston beating them in maybe even a shorter series than that, maybe 5, because Boston will find a way to score runs.
Ooh, man.
Well, I agree with the Dodgers. The thing that scares me about the Dodgers is the bullpen. Jansen's been lights out, but I believe in the playoffs, and the 7th, 8th innings are a lot of times where the game's won and lost, and J.P. Howell, Paco Rodriguez, Brian Wilson. I know they've been pitching good, but I want to have 95 with a nasty slider or split coming out of the bullpen, not those guys. Nothing against them, but to me the playoffs is a little different. You got to have some guys that you need strikeouts late in the game, and that's kind of how I feel. But American League, Detroit, man, Verlander, Scherzer, Torrey Hunter's really made a difference in that lineup. Victor Martinez seems to be back, along with Fielder and Cabrera, the obvious choices. But I like Detroit. Benoit's really settled in as a top-notch closer, and Jim Leyland sure would be sweet to see him go out on top. So.
Well, you heard Robert's feelings on the Tigers going all the way, Royce. I agree with a lot that he said, but I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw with Boston.
Yeah, me too. And I just don't know about Cabrera's health. That's been an issue coming down the tail end of the season. When you play 162 games to get into the playoffs, nobody's 100% healthy. I know they've been trying to sit him to get him somewhat back to feeling good. But, what happened with them in the playoffs the World Series with San Francisco kind of got me off their bandwagon, if you will. I think they're a great team, great manager. But, I think Torrey will help with the leadership. But, scoring runs and Verlander's lost, about a foot on his fastball. Not going to be as dominant as what he was last year. Depending on Scherzer to be your number one is a little tough. Benoit in the new role as the closer. So I think they got a lot of holes they're trying to fill, and I think they're closer to really getting to the promised land and winning it next year, more so than this year because of the things that they're dealing with.
We were talking to Royce Clayton, 17. Is it 17 years you played? Or is it 18?
Yeah. Roundabout. Who cares? At the end of the day, we all look at, you get 10 plus, that's all we worry about. But, yeah.
17-year veteran Royce Clayton, who, when we get to our 10 years, we have a celebration of sorts. I had me a bottle of wine from my teammates once I reached that 10-year plateau. And did you get anything from your teammates? I know I partied that night. Did you?
Yeah, I was treated to a nice steak dinner. I was one of the veterans on the team, so I was used to picking up the dinner, and a couple of young cats said, hey, man, we know this is your 10th year in the league, which, I was kind of monitoring was, the day when it hits, you really don't realize it, but when it's, flashed up on the scoreboard or comes through the media, I know some guys recognized it and, went for a nice steak dinner in New York, and, that was that. But anything that you've done for that long, I think, you appreciate it, and especially to have the people that you compete with appreciate your longevity. It just makes it that much more special. I think personally we reach milestones that may not be a big deal to us, but when you can share it with, Dimitri and Robert, when you share it with your teammates and people that you compete with every day, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it sure does, man.
Yeah.
You had some kind of career. I guess a question that I'm curious about. You played on quite a few different teams, which is a good thing. It means that you were wanted in a lot of different places. But who was the not the best manager, but maybe your most favorite manager, the one you had the most respect for? I know you played for Dusty. He's kind of the first one that comes to my mind. But who do you think it might be?
I always say Dusty was my first manager, and I have a close relationship with Dusty. He was the one that said, hey, I'm gonna go with the kid as a pretty much the first year shortstop with a bunch of veteran players, and we were trying to win. So to have that confidence coming from your manager meant the world to me, and teach me how to be a professional on and off the field, which not only did Dusty help, but the guys I played with, Matt Williams, Willie McGee, Robbie Thompson, Will Clark. I mean, the list goes on and on. I had great veterans to teach me how to be a pro. And, as the years go on, I had a tough manager, and Dimitri can testify to this, and Tony La Russa. There's some things, and to be honest with you, I didn't appreciate going through at the time, but when I look at it, it's about winning, and what I want to do was win. And, he taught me to compete every single day like it was the seventh day of the World Series. And, some of the things, like I said, you look back on and say, hey, this helped shape me as a player. I think all the managers that I played under had a good effect, or a positive effect in some way. But between him, Dusty, and then, having half a season with Terry Francona, really, those three guys are tough to beat when you talk about across the board what they bring to the table every single day, how they manage personalities, and basically how you find them in a situation to win every single year. Look at Tito; he comes to Cleveland, he's back in it. Dusty, same thing in Cincinnati, and I'm sure if Tony was managing somewhere, he'd find a way to get into the playoff race. So that's just a sign of good managers. They just find a way to get it done, just like players.
Man, that's exactly what I was thinking about Tony La Russa being a tough manager. And I know the situation that you came into in 1996, there were things that were said to you and also said to somebody else where it turned out to be a tough environment. But what you showed me being a rookie, you showed me how to be professional even when there's doo-doo thrown in your face. And that's what I took with me when I went to Cincinnati and then Detroit and on to Washington. I picked up a lot from the veterans and in St. Louis because there was nothing but veterans on the team, and I had no time. And you told me straight up, you're supposed to be seen, not heard. And that's what I see missing from the game today with a lot of those
just
young
like
players.
Puig. Be seen and not heard.
Yeah, someone needs to tell him that in Espanol. But I love Puig, though.
Yeah, he's a stud. He what he did for the Dodgers this year, unbelievable, huh? I mean, with that, he came up, they were in last place. I don't know how many games out, and
that's why he should be Rookie of the Year. And he should have some MVP votes as well. How do you feel about Mr. Yasiel Puig, Royce?
Look, I think for the first time in a long time, he brought a certain type of energy, like what Manny did when Manny came to LA. You're here, you watch the games, and you see what's happening at the end of the season. A lot of expectations. They had some injuries to deal with. Matt Kemp not coming back as healthy as they wanted him to come back to, and it's just a dismal situation. He comes in, he's dynamic, he has energy, he's good, helps push across a couple runs that the pitching staff really needed, and it changed the whole season for him. So I agree. The only thing is, like, he's a young kid. You can't look to him to carry this team in the playoffs or energy is energy. Everybody's got energy in the playoffs.
Right.
But the only thing that concerns me is, his lack of understanding the game, and it's going to show his face if he doesn't hit the cutoff man, if he runs in the outs, if he steals at the wrong time, swings at pitches in an opportune moment, tries to, doesn't take what they give you. All these things are going to show. So I'm sure Donnie's thought about that on the offensive side. He's going to try to put him in a point where he's not going to be dependent on to drive in, be in the middle of the lineup, maybe hit him at the front side to turn things over, create some scoring opportunities early. But, it's all a learning process, and I think, to be fair to him, he shouldn't be expected to go and carry this team in the playoffs. That's the job of Matt Kemp. Guys like that that've been around for a while, Andre Ethier, Adrian Gonzalez, those are the guys going to have to, provide the offensive side that they're going to need, score a couple runs to support the pitching staff during the playoffs.
Sure. Yeah. Kemp's out.
Ankle.
Yeah, they ruled him out. So
How about Ethier?
no excuse though. They went on that run. I don't know what it was, 50-13, and they did it all without Kemp. So there's no excuses for
They
him.
did it once, they can do it again.
Right. Well,
I mean, it was a piece that I was wondering how it was going to work out, because they did make their best run when he was out. He was going to be an issue as far as, how do you break up that outfield now that he's back? Does it affect the chemistry of the clubhouse? There's a lot of deciding factors that you have to weigh out, and I think, quiet as kept. Me personally, I think the right decision's been made. He just, just needs to step aside, go get healthy, and come back next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. He just sit there and have his cast on and cheer on the Dodgers as they go. Like I said, they're going to win it all this year. And he may not feel like he was a part of it, but he was a big part of the team and how everything panned out, because, when you assemble a team, you wish and hope that nobody gets hurt and you can play everybody 162, but we all know that never happens. And the pieces that happen to fall in, well, it brought them to where the Dodgers hadn't been in a long time, the playoffs.
Yeah, Matt. Sorry, Royce, but Matt Kemp.
No, go ahead.
I'm not the biggest fan of him as a player, but I think this kid through all this has been really humbled, and I think he's probably going to come back a better player after this is all.
40, you're saying?
Just he's really shown that, just swallowing his pride. The little time he did come back, and he played pretty good while he came back, and I think you can probably expect some big things for him. It seems like he's got a lot of pride.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Just to his credit, when he's been, from what I've seen, his energy when he's sitting there cheering for his teams, it's not fake. He's into it.
Right.
He wants the team to do well. He's pulling for his teammates. And who knows behind closed doors what type of impact he's making to, Yasiel Puig or anybody for that matter, as far as how he talks to them, things they talk about, pitchers. There's a lot that he can bring to the table even if he's not on the field. And, like I said, who knows what's happening behind those closed doors. But when they flash the TV on him during the games and so forth, he's 100% pulling for his teammates, and that's all you can ask for when you're not healthy.
Well, Royce, I have a question that's totally out of left field here. Now, listening to you and all of your baseball knowledge and listeners, Royce Clayton and Robert Fick are a big part of the California Big League Academy, the camps that we host throughout the summer out here in Southern California. Royce, do you have any interest in going back into baseball as a coach or anything of that nature, or do you like home life and watching your kids grow up? Because I'm on that seesaw right now, and I kind of like being at home with the kids and watching them grow up and doing camps and hitting lessons of that nature. I like doing that.
Yeah, I first part of my retirement, I think I was on that seesaw as well. But I think we've been blessed with the opportunity to be around our kids and raise our kids. And I won't, there's no amount of money and there's nothing in the world that can replace, the impact of me being a father to my kids. I have 4 kids, the triplets, 2 girls, 2 boys. And, we won't have this time back. Baseball will be there. long after I'm done, after I'm gone off this planet. Hopefully, if there is a time where my kids are grown, doing their thing, whatever, if I'm accepted back into the baseball world, I would absolutely love to coach. But the most important thing for me right now is to raise my kids, and that's the biggest responsibility, the biggest honor I'm given at this point in time. I do realize it's taking a chance because, out of sight, out of mind. That's just the way baseball works.
Sure.
10 years from now, with baseball still a member of care that Royce Clayton wants to come into baseball, I don't know. I would hope so, yes, but at this point in time, I'm willing to make that sacrifice for my kids and be a part of their lives, and then take a chance to fulfill my own personal dreams of somehow being back into the game. And if it works, it works. If not, then I'll be fine with that too.
Well, Royce, I got to believe that there'll be a job there waiting for you 10 years from now. Me and Dee both have the utmost respect for you. You were a true professional.
You were a mentor to me growing up.
It says something to play that position. Everybody talks about Derek Jeter. Well, I'll take Royce Clayton any day of the week. So, we really appreciate you coming on the show, and we look forward to having you back on the show. And
tell Coach Tony what's up, and we're gonna be having a camp over the Christmas holidays. So
any time, guys. I'm down for you, and I appreciate it. And it was not to sound cheesy or whatever, but really it was an honor to be somewhat of a role model to what your careers have been. Don't take anything away from what you guys achieved, man. You guys are great players in your own right. And, it's great to have you as both as teammates and, friends on and off the field, and things that we could do together. I'm all about that. So, best of luck with the show. I hope it blows up. You're talking real talk. And, anytime you want to have me on, I'm more than happy to be a part of it.
Well, we would like to put some beautiful people in the studio. So, hey,
what are you saying?
Feel free to come down here and brighten up the day up here. It's a little gloomy when I look to my right.
Yeah, well, when I look straight ahead, holy shit.
All right, guys.
All right, Royce, you have a great one.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Later, Royce.
Thanks again. All right, guys. Later.
Peace. Boy, Royce Clayton.
Man, oh man, what a pro. That's all I can say.
Oh, that's a man's man right now.
True pro.
Well, we're going to go into a quick break right now, and when we come back, anybody that watches the Dodgers or a White Sox fan will remember the guy who pulled his pants down, Steve Psycho Lyons, on FYI Sports Talk on John Lovitz Vodcast Network.
Upcoming shows to the John Lovitz Vodcast Network.
Welcome to FYI. It's Dimitri Young here with Robert Fick.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talking Marijuana.
Hi, everybody. Crabman's Rock and Roll Revival featuring Frazier Smith is on the air, in your hair, and going out everywhere around the world.
I'm Gary Garver, live from the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
This is the John Lovitz Podcast Network.
Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com.
Welcome back to FYI. This is Dimitri Young and Robert Fick. Welcome back to FYI. This is Dimitri Young and Robert Fick. And our second guest is the guy who showed his underwear back 15, 20 years ago, who's the Dodgers play-by-play guy, Steve Psycho Lyons. Welcome to FYI Sports Talk, Steve Psycho.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, nothing. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. How's everything with you?
Well, me and Robert Fick are doing good, looking at each other right now, wondering who's the ugliest one in the studio.
He's got me beat by a lot.
Hey, I don't know. Between you two guys, it's a toss-up.
What's up, Psycho? Hey, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, man. Are you already on the road? You're not still here, are you?
No, actually, we're done because of all the network games now. They take over everything. So anything that we were doing with Prime Ticket or, my deal with the Dodgers to call games is over with. So I'm sitting around doing nothing, watching games like everyone else. So in the past, we had done some pre- and post-game shows with Prime Ticket, but of course this was their last season, so they elected not to do anything, and it moves on to Time Warner next year. So I'll be sitting in front of my TV.
Oh, right on.
So do you have any predictions on the playoffs right now? Because I have the Dodgers going all the way and winning in 6 against the Boston Red Sox.
That's a pretty good call right there. I mean, certainly in the American League, a team like Detroit really scares me with their pitching and the fact that they can hit the ball. The Dodgers certainly would be my sentimental vote. I've been in the organization now for 9 seasons, and I really love what I saw this year at certain times, and really hated what I saw this year at certain times too. They have some issues. I think that most teams, and you guys know this, when you have a day off, the next time you come to the plate, you feel like you haven't been there for 3 weeks.
Right.
And most guys don't want days off. And when you look at how well St. Louis was playing into the playoffs, how well Atlanta was playing into the playoffs, they wanted no part of 4 days off before they started again on Thursday. But the Dodgers, I think, were the only team in the playoffs right now that welcomed that. They weren't playing well. They weren't scoring any runs. They weren't hitting. They're not healthy. This was a team that went on a ridiculous run in the middle of the season to get them into the playoffs. But right now, they're not playing their best baseball, and this 4 days off for them might be the best thing that ever happened to them.
Well, that's a first hearing anybody say that about any playoff team, because we all know what happened to Detroit both last year and back in 2006. They had too many days off, and it turned out to be their venom. So
same thing with Colorado too, when they went on that ridiculous streak and then bumped into the Boston Red Sox, of course, for the World Series, because I think they lost like 7 days because they swept their series, and then they had a few days because of the snow out there where they couldn't do much, and so by the time they got to playing baseball again, they were, it was like spring training again.
Hey, Psycho, talk to us about what happened with Matt Kemp and the ankle, and what are your predictions on it? I know they didn't have him during the big run during the middle of the year, but it seemed to be nice having him back in the middle of that lineup. He seemed to be playing pretty well. I think it's going to have a big effect on him.
Yeah, for the regular season, everything they did was without Matt Kemp. But to say that you don't need a guy that's the quality player that he is just ludicrous. It's just dumb to even think about it. But he wasn't there the whole season. And when you think about it, Matt Kemp hadn't had a really good run since April of 2011. After that, he had a really bad May. Then he got hurt, and then he got hurt again. It was kind of a lost season for him. And then this year, completely a lost season for him. But when he came back, I was flat out amazed that he had the timing that he had, that he was seeing pitches and kind of laying off bad pitches and hitting the ball the way he was, considering he hadn't played in a year, almost the entire season almost. And now, we saw him on the crutches, and then I saw the press release saying that he was done for the rest of the season. And that just floored all of us. Of course, that was my last day there. That was Sunday. And I don't know if they've tried to revise that or not, or if they're saying that, there's a possibility they could come back if they get deeper into the playoffs. But when I saw him on crutches, I knew it was no good. And I think that the biggest thing that worries me about Matt Kemp right now is that this is a guy that literally played every day. I mean, had the longest
he did.
consecutive game streak in baseball before he hurt himself the first time outside of anybody in the National League. And now he can't stay on the field. He's so brittle, it seems, right now, which is just such a sad thing to watch for a guy who's such a tremendous player.
We're talking to Steve Psycho Lyons. Psycho, my question to you is there's a guy that got called up this year, very, very raw as far as being in the limelight and things like that are concerned. There's been a lot of talk, both positive and negative, about Yasiel Puig. And I know you had some comments to say about him when they were playing against the Marlins when he showed up late. And when he wound up hitting a home run where the Dodgers wound up winning. But do you feel that the veterans on the team are doing the right thing by pulling him aside and showing him the right way? Because when I got called up in 1996 with the St. Louis Cardinals, our guest earlier today, Royce Clayton, were amongst many of the veterans we had on that team that showed me that you go out there and play your scene and not hurt. And some of the things that Puig does, it rubs people the wrong way. And I don't know him personally, and I know that he's going through growing pains and whatnot, but what are your thoughts about him?
Well, I say something positive and negative about him every day. The guy, he's crazy.
Me too.
He's ridiculously talented. We all know that. I mean, he's got the body of an Adonis here. This kid is just so strong and so fast and just has so much talent. But he's still learning how to play baseball. And when you think about it, growing up where he did, you got to figure that he dominated almost any league he ever played in. And he had this Superman complex that he literally could do anything he wanted. If he hit a ball up the middle, he could keep running to second base because no one would be able to throw him out. If he got a ball in the outfield, he could throw the ball to home because he'd throw the guy out before he got there. He's realizing now that big league players will get you out, in not only at the plate, but on the base path. And if you make a bad throw, they're going to make you pay for it. So he's getting better. And as far as the veterans, pulling them aside and talking to them, there are certain guys that are doing that. I think, Adrian Gonzalez has, put his time in with them. Certainly Juan Uribe, those guys get along and they try. But you're also talking about a limited number of guys that can talk to him. Matt can't talk to him that much because of a language barrier. Any of the guys that don't really speak Spanish can only say so much to him that he's going to understand or care about. And I think on top of all of that, you're talking about a 22-year-old kid that's a multi-millionaire, and no one's ever said no to him in his life. Why wouldn't he think he can do anything he wants?
Right.
So it's a crazy situation. It's just like you said. It was like, he shows up late to the ballpark. They bench him for that game. They decide to pinch hit him, and he hits one into the seats to win the game. So every day he's going to do something absolutely crazy and then absolutely great.
Well, he saved Dodger baseball. I know Hanley was a big part of it, getting him back too, but the vibe he brought, Dodger baseball was down in the dumps, and the vibe he brought, it was like no-mo mania at Dodger Stadium. So I know we were talking to Royce earlier, Psycho, and Royce said that you can't really expect this young guy to do what he's done all year in the playoffs. The playoffs is a different thing, and we got to hope that Adrian and Hanley and Andre
And Uribe.
And Uribe and Ellis, both, the whole team really, but, the big boys really got to come through and carry the load because, it's playoff time.
Yeah, it seems to me that in the playoffs, the guys that you really expect to play well sometimes become, backseat players to the guys that are, your 8 and 9 hitters sometimes, because it seems like if you're in a situation where Agon comes up and he can hurt you, they're going to pitch around him if they can. And so then the burden falls to the next guy in the lineup, and sometimes it's your 6, 7, or your 2 hitter or something like that, guys that are put in position to come through big time for your team that haven't been used to it all season long. I think Puig is going to have to realize that they're not going to throw him strikes, and he can still be a complete impact player on the game if he just gets on base ahead of those guys that you were just talking about, the Ethiers and Agon and those guys that are, and Hanley Ramirez, the guys that are supposed to drive in runs. If he just realizes that they're going to try to get him to swing at bad pitches all day long, and he swings at them, they'll never throw him another strike. If he lays off, walks a couple times, maybe steals a base, gets driven in and scores, now you're talking about a different player. A guy can really have an impact on a game.
Well, that would be real nice if he would be able to do that. That's talking like a true veteran, what you're saying right there. Being able to change the game and not being a caveman. He going to throw me fastball and swing at it, knowing that they're not going to throw him anything. So hopefully he can mature into the playoffs and maybe bring that into the table where it sets up the table for Gonzalez and Hanley, because it seemed like when he's on, everybody else is on.
Yeah, and you can only put so much of that weight on the coaching staff, but they've had the entire season that he's been here. But now, once again, I'll talk about the days off that they've had. Someone has to have really split up next to him in the workouts that they're having right now, and leading up into the game, talking about how bright these lights are going to be on him, and the fact that he can be huge in this game, literally many times without even swinging his bat. Just making sure that he's a good hitter up there and working counts and getting on base. And then if he finds himself in a situation where he thinks he can air it out, then go ahead. But you can't, as you said, just go up there thinking that they're going to throw you fastballs on every pitch and let you just swing away, because that's not what they're going to let him do. And, he can really be a big part of this team if someone's talking to him about the approach that he should be taking at the plate during the playoffs.
We're on the line here with Steve Psycho Lyons. Steve, one guy I want to know about that I don't really know too much about. I think he possibly is the Dodgers MVP this year. Kenley Jansen, the numbers he's put up, his demeanor on the mound. He's, to me, this is a bold statement, but he's the closest thing to Mariano Rivera that I've seen in a long, long time. You can't tell if the kid blew the save or got the save, and
That is a bold statement.
I mean, he's kind of a one-pitch pitcher too, throwing that cutter, whatever he's got there. But tell us about this guy.
Well, he is a quiet kid, and he's one of those guys that really the meanness in him comes out when he takes the ball in the ninth inning. And then he goes to work. And you're right, he is kind of a Rivera one-pitch pitcher. He kind of picked up a little bit of a curveball late in the season that he started using, which was pretty effective for him. But he's pretty much going to go up there and try to blow you away. I think it's interesting, and I think it's going to be really important for teams in the playoffs this year to get a lead in the ball game and hang on to it towards the end of the game, because you don't want to see, you don't want to see Chapman in the game from Cincinnati. You don't want to see Kenley in the game for the Dodgers. You don't want to see Kimbrel in the game for the Atlanta Braves. Guys like that, they're just like, it's lights out when they come in. Game's over. So they shorten the games down to 7 innings. You get your 8th inning guy, you get the closer in there, and good luck beating those guys. I gotta take one bone of exception with you. Come on, it's you guys. We're all 3 everyday players. You cannot say Kenley Jansen's the MVP. He's a pitcher.
Hey, I didn't say that. That was Robert.
When they finally put the ball in his hands in the 9th inning, certainly things started turning around for the Dodgers. But I'll never give a pitcher an MVP.
Thank you.
You better not tell that to Kershaw.
I won't give. I'll give him the Cy Young all day long. But he only makes 33 starts, man.
Okay, just team MVP. Team MVP.
That could be.
Well, Psycho, we are getting ready to make our predictions for the MVPs and things of that nature of the league. And for the National League, I like Matt Carpenter, and American League, I like Chris Davis. And Robert's pick. Who are your picks, Robert?
Well, I mean, I like Paul Goldschmidt, what he did in Arizona. I know his team didn't make the playoffs, but you can't deny the numbers that kid put up. And the obvious choice to me is Miguel Cabrera. What he's done the past couple of years is unheard of. The guy has ice in his veins, and we won't see a hitter like him for a long, long time.
Yeah, I think I love the Cabrera pick in the American League. I mean, the guy literally had a chance. If he didn't really get hurt and banged up at the end, he had a chance to maybe win a Triple Crown again. I mean, he's throwing up numbers that you just don't see very often, especially in Detroit. And I know they moved in the fences a little bit, but it's still not a hitter's ballpark, and the numbers he's thrown up there have been crazy. I like Goldschmidt too in the National League, and since it's your show and you can do whatever you want, you can vote for who you ever want. I'm just afraid that the voters who actually vote for the award, and when they announce the award, it always ends up being a guy from a team that's in the playoffs. So I think it's going to be McCutchen, who's certainly not a bad choice. But they, I know there's already too many awards out there, but if there was like a player of the year, it would have been Goldschmidt. If it's the MVP, it'll probably be McCutchen.
And Freddie Freeman's making a late run, putting his name on the ballot, too. So.
Yeah, and guys like you said, like Matt Carpenter, not a bad choice. I mean, Matt Carpenter was a guy who was like, no one even cared about this kid. No one really wanted him around. He kind of just banged his way through the minor leagues and got up there just by being an organizational guy, being a St. Louis Cardinal type of player. Next thing you know, he's up there dazzling, And to me, those are just great stories to see.
No batting gloves. That's a red flag. If a guy ain't wearing batting gloves, he's putting the barrel on the ball an awful lot.
Automatic gamer.
Evan Gaddis, he's another one.
Will Meyer with the Rays.
Will Myers, no batting gloves. Hunter Pence, one batting glove.
Yeah, but Hunter Pence probably wears one batting glove because he just forgot where the other one is.
Oh, shoot. All right, Psycho. Hey, man, we'll let you go. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, thank you very much.
And,
yeah, no problem. It was fun, man. We'll do it again.
We'll be rooting for the Dodgers, that's for sure.
All right.
Have a good one. That was Steve Psycho Lyons. Man, what a fountain of great information.
What
right
a show
man.
today.
Good.
What a show today. You know why it's going so smooth?
We didn't have to talk. Well, we're about to take another quick break, and when we get back, what the frick were you thinking? John Lovitz Vodcast Network, FYI Sports Talk.
Upcoming shows to the John Lovitz Vodcast Network.
Welcome to FYI. It's Dimitri Young here with Robert Fick.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talking Marijuana.
Hi, everybody. Crabman's Rock and Roll Revival featuring Frazier Smith is on the air, in your hair, and going out everywhere around the world.
I'm Gary Garver, live from the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
This is the John Lovitz Podcast Network.
Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com.
All right, welcome back to FYI Sports Talk. We just had two amazing interviews with Royce Clayton and Psycho Lyons.
You better not have fucked that up, Angelo. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah, I'd be very uncool of you if we don't have those two segments, because that was some blood, sweat, and tears that went into those interviews.
Yeah, Royce Clayton, Steve Lyons, thanks for coming on the show. Two pros. Psycho's no Vin Scully, but he's all right. He's all right. Hope to see him back next year in Dodger blue. 9 years with the Dodgers. It's a long time.
Well, Robert, we didn't get into a lot of the topics that we wanted to get into because, it's sensible chatter, man. We talk. We talk real talk.
Well, it is the off season now, and the playoffs are on us, and I know you've heard our bullshit picks, but it's free agent time, and I know it's not quite time to start talking free agents, but there are some pretty big names out there. One guy that comes to mind for me is Roy Halladay. He'll be on the market this year.
I bet you his
coming
deal,
off injury, might have Yankees written all over him. That kind of guy.
I bet you he has an incentive-laden deal.
Yeah.
A base salary, and then he reached certain goals because he's been hurt the last couple of years. But we know a healthy Roy Halladay, regardless of how old he is, he can pitch. He can get batters out.
Mike Napoli.
He had 91 RBI this year, and he didn't get that 3-year deal.
The 3 years, $39 million got turned
into $5 million
exactly
for 1 year. So he definitely backed it up. Hypno hurt. 91 RBI. Some team's gonna want him. He got the team to the playoffs, and he played adequate defense for them to be able to put him out there every other day or whatever. But 91 RBI speaks volumes, especially for a team that ran away with it all.
You know, I don't know how many years in a row it is, but Napoli has been to the playoffs with Texas. How many years? He was there 2 years in Texas.
I thought it was just that 1 year.
Angels been to the playoffs with them. Now with Boston. Boston really wasn't supposed to do much this year. Next thing you know it, they're the best team in the American League.
So do you think that had to do with the environment or getting Bobby Valentine out of Dodge?
I think it has to do with getting Bobby Valentine out of Dodge.
I mean, doesn't that make you wonder what in the hell was going on in Boston in 2012?
You know what? And bringing in the right guys. You know, you got a healthy John Lackey. The pitching staff has done a great job. Uehara, the closer. Guys like Johnny Gomes sitting there on the bench. These are guys that bring it every day and know how to win. Gomes was in Oakland.
How about this? I've heard this on either MLB Network or on ESPN. Who got the better of that deal, the Dodgers or the Red Sox? Because both of them in the playoffs, both of them were sizzling hot because the Red Sox dumped all that salary and stuff to the Dodgers, who picked up Crawford, who was vital. You had Adrian Gonzalez, 100 RBI.
We'll see. Right now, Boston got the better of the deal. The Dodgers win the World Series. The Dodgers got the better of the deal. Until they win a World Series, I don't know if that
because
could be
the way
the
I
case.
look at it, Boston freed up salary to get the Johnny Gomes, the Mike Napoli's, the Shane Victorino.
Sure.
So the playoffs is going to be where we see how that deal plays out. And not only this year, next year and the year after, because it's not just a 1 year deal, because Crawford and Gonzalez still going to be on the Dodgers. And let's see where Napoli winds up. Let's see. Well, Shane Victorino will be there again. Johnny Gomes signed a 2 year deal, so he'll be
2
back.
year, $10 million.
And the closer that they have, shoving it up everybody's behind.
Uehara, Koji Uehara. Hanrahan, he'll be a free agent next year.
Be a free agent. So, guys that get hurt, they got a lot of fire. And, one day I got to put in a call to see how he's doing. Maybe we can get Joel Hanrahan on the show and talk about how tough of a year it is when you have expectations for yourself. You finally get to a place where you're on the big stage and you're injured. And it's like, how do you cope with that? What do you do? And he just had a baby this year. And so, from one aspect, you get to be with your kid and watch him grow up. But at the same token, you're watching the team that you're supposed to be closing for.
Doing it.
They're doing it, and you're not there. So I definitely want to call him up and see if he want to be on the show.
Who's the top free agent? Ellsbury?
Ooh, wow. I think so, but you know what? I have a feeling he's going to sign back with Boston. He's one of those gritty Boston players that's part of that chemistry. And
he's a Northwest guy, though. Seattle might try to go get him.
Yeah, but I think the only thing that'll move him is if they get a manager that is anything like a Terry Francona or a John Farrell, because those are the two guys that he played for and loved and had his best years with.
Mm-hmm. Nelson Cruz, a free agent. Curtis Granderson's a free agent. Sin-Soo Choo. Carlos Beltran.
All right, let's do these individually real quick.
Some pretty good ones.
I see Carlos Beltran walking. I can see him taking a 2-year deal somewhere else. The Cardinals, they're a well-oiled machine. They have that Oscar Taveras kid that's ready for the big leagues now. So just like Albert Pujols left, boom, Alan Craig comes in. Boom, we don't have a second baseman anymore. Boom, Matt Carpenter here. That's how the Cardinals roll, and I see that being no different. I see Carlos going somewhere where he'll be instrumental. Maybe not the man because he's older, but he'll still drop 25 to 30 homers and hit anywhere from 270 to 290.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just who he is.
If I was the Yankees, I would go for Nelson Cruz. I know he's a cheater and all, but
Well, the Yankees used to having cheaters on the team because now Alex Rodriguez's appeal starts.
I'm just talking shit. Who knows what Nelson Cruz was on or what he was doing, but he's a big dude. He's a hell of a hitter. He hits the ball the other way. He would pretty much have his own there at Yankee Stadium. So
he uses the entire field when he hits.
Texas doesn't seem to be in the business of keeping guys.
No, they're not.
So
when guys are ready to go, unless they want. I mean, Texas is hot during the summer.
You ain't kidding.
I mean, it's hell hot.
You ain't kidding. You are not kidding.
All right, throw me another free agent.
A.J. Burnett.
A.J. Burnett shows.
Does he stay?
You know what? I see that he's very comfortable in those low marketplaces. Like when he was with the Marlins, he was
sure.
But when they had the spotlight on, not everybody's built for the spotlight. And AJ has that kind of bulldog mentality where he can.
He seems like he's built for the spotlight.
Yeah, but he's having better years.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, that's not a spotlight place. And look what he's done to the pitching staff. That mentality that he had playing in the New York, playing in the big games, it turned those boys around.
Yeah, same. And don't forget about Russell Martin.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Is he a free agent too?
I don't think so. He signed a 2-year 17 to go to Pittsburgh.
Right,
but Russell Martin, everywhere this guy goes.
Hey, we're talking about free agents here. We're not talking about Russell.
Okay.
Nice try, though.
Sin-Soo Choo, playing at a position all year.
And he's a free agent.
2020.
That's the second time he's done that. He did that with the Indians. And
are you sure it's only the second time?
It could have been the third time. I don't have any stats on him. And Angelo doesn't know how to look up stats for us.
If we had a real fucking switchboard guy, we'd have the shit posted already on the...
Yeah, man. No stats.
He doesn't even know the difference between a baseball and a volleyball, this guy. He doesn't. He wears all these, like, metal band shirts and shit.
I know. Look at those rings, man.
He looks like...
You think he cuts himself up when he beats himself?
He looks like a fucking cab driver. Like... I can't believe Mark hasn't fired him yet.
All right, what else you got for me?
Well, shoot. I mean, I always want to talk football, not fantasy football. Maybe
Real
just,
football.
Some surprises this year. The Cleveland Browns, man. They put the new quarterback in there, Bobby Hoyer, Jordan Cameron, the tight end, Newberry Park kid. Watch out for Cleveland. Miami took a little fall last night.
And we was talking about the Saints, and why don't you explain the difference? The Saints of 2012 and 2013, yeah.
Well,
it looks good, by the way.
It's their coach, I know. I hope you share it with me.
Share. That's not my
they
vocabulary.
got their coach back. They got their leader back. All that stuff they dealt with last year. Not even Drew Brees could fix that, Drew Brees can handle a lot, but not that.
Yeah, there was a lot of scrutiny that was placed on the Saints last year, and that whole Bounty Gate or whatever it was called.
It took a lot out of them, for sure.
But it seemed to be back.
Guys snitching on other guys and
I'm
stuff.
Tattletale.
One thing I forgot before we move on was... I want to give a congratulations to Andrew Lambo. He's a Newberry Park kid. He hit his first home run this week.
He crushed it.
He did crush that ball. I was watching. Good kid, man. Strong kid.
Does he still live in the area?
I don't really know. I don't hang out with 25-year-olds. So.
Oh, well, I mean, you have cousins and relatives.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that would be nice to get some of these local boys
that would be
out
nice.
here on the show, because we had Justin DeFreitas, who went to Rio Mesa. That was my high school. He was teammates with Delman in Philadelphia. Of course, there's Delman, a Camarillo graduate.
When I was an agent, we took DeFreitas out to dinner one night, me and Dan Evans. He signed with somebody else.
Yeah.
Go figure.
It happens.
That's why I'm a fucking Vodcast DJ now.
All right, Fick.
Okay.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment. What the Fick were you thinking? And I told you during this segment, I'm going to be eating the Twinkie.
It looks so good. Well,
go ahead.
today's What the Fick Were You Thinking is I really don't know how to put this one. It's Pat Hayden, the USC athletic director. I mean, what was he thinking by not firing Lane Kiffin last year? I mean, after the Sun Bowl and what Georgia Tech did to them, how could you bring him back?
Smell it.
Still got that same smell. Yes. Lane Kiffin is got to be the worst, one of the worst of all time. What he's done to the program at USC is a total fucking joke. And excuse my language, but if this guy gets another fucking job, I don't know what I'll do. What a fucking joke. From the Oakland Raiders to the University of Tennessee to USC. I mean, Pete Carroll did for Trojan football, bringing it back like that, and what Lane Kiffin's done to destroy it is a joke. It hurts, but that's all we got for this week. You gonna share that with me or what?
I
don't want that over there.
Oh, man, this is so good.
Next week, once again, we're gonna have a mystery guest. We gotta get a camera. We need one of those cameras so we can show everybody what Angela really looks like back there.
Here you go. Psych!
I just want to bite. I don't even want the whole thing. Just break it in half before I tackle you. Oh, you think that's funny, huh, Angelo?
Oh, look at that.
That is so fucked up.
I'll break you off a piece.
Yeah, I just want a little bite. It's too sugary. It tastes different. A little different.
I disagree.
Overrated. I'm glad you didn't give me the whole thing.
I'm glad I didn't give it to you either. All right. For all you listeners out there.
Next week we'll have ding-dongs.
No, I want Suzy Q's. Armed Forces, thank you very much. Mark Short,
forgot.
Thank you very little.
Mark, thanks for not coming. Went nice and smooth without you today. No pressure. Angelo doesn't have a turd in his shorts. We're doing all right.
All right, fans.
See
Talk
you
to
next
you next week.
Mystery guest.
Peace.